All right, well, welcome back to the shop, guys. We've got our yard sale 350X. Yeah, I got it at a yard sale. If you're just getting here, you need to back up a couple of videos because it's quite the story. But anyways, got the yard sale 350X in here, and we're just going to kind of take it through and give it what it needs. We're not doing a full restoration here. Nobody's doing a frame off. This thing runs great, but it needs some things. It needs things like brakes, and it needs tires, it needs grips, and I am not an originalist. I do not put these machines back 100% OE. As much as I would love to, it's just not in the cards for me. I cannot pay what some of these prices are for some of these parts, and like a lot of y'all, we're all on a budget. And for me to be able to afford this many machines, I kind of had to spread my money out and give a little love to a lot of different machines instead of just one. What I want to do is kind of go through the steps of taking a machine that's already running, and we're kind of taking it to the next level. Not restored, not mint, not new old stock, but better. And so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on giving it the systems that it needs. I'm going to kill a lot of mosquitoes. It's early October here in the south, and that's 2 since I turned the camera on in less than 2 minutes. So you kind of see how the night's going. I'm going to be busy. So what I wanted to do is kind of show you a product. This company has been around for a little while. I don't know them. From Adam's House Cat. It's called Maddie. I've seen them do some other reproduction parts, and they do really good. They did the brake lever on the 84R, and that's it up there, the master cylinder. I'll zoom in when in editing, but that master cylinder right there, you would be hard pressed at 20 feet to think that that's not the original one. They did a great job of copying that one. And I want to tell you about these master cylinders. There's a lot of companies that make these. The problem that you're going to run into with just any old master cylinder is the spacing on the 2 bolts. Now, I've already checked this out before I turn the camera on, and this one fits. Now, I've had others come in here, not from this company, but I've seen a lot of them where the spacing is off. I've even seen some where they actually elongate one of the holes to make that happen. Maddie does not do that. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I don't know that I am or not, but that's it. There'll be a link in the description. You can pick them up on eBay or Amazon, but look at this kit that it came with. It came with the reservoir for the fluid. So just as a comparison, side-by-side comparison. Sorry for the mosquitoes, y'all. You got to catch them before they catch you. Look at the side-by-side comparisons. I mean, they are just really, really close, if not perfect. This bulge here on the plastic, that's just from where it's gotten old and is stretched out. This is an OE brake reservoir for the rear of the master cylinder, and this is the replacement. Very, very similar. I'm trying to, this cap's on upside down, but the warning is there. The brake fluid that you're supposed to use is there. New screws. All your pickup points are in the right spot. This is how it indexes into the frame. It does not come with this washer and this bushing. So we're going to clean this up and transfer it over. Now, I'm real big on that. That master cylinder I showed you a few minutes ago, I kept the master cylinder, but I reused the original lever so it has the same look as OE. Same thing here. We're going to transfer over anything that the kit didn't come with. This is a kit, 1 part number. It all came in this box. It came with 2 clamps. It came with the master cylinder with the buckle, which we were missing this buckle part. As you see, this is what came with the machine, and it does spin, but I can't plunge it at all. Get some bug spray? My goodness. All right, I had to walk it off. I couldn't find any bug spray. We got to get some bug spray out in the shop. That's crazy. Anyways, so here's our 2 master cylinders. Just compare the 2 master cylinders. I mean, they are pretty much spot on identical. There's a few little differences, but only the trained eye would pick up on them. The bottom line for me, is it safe? Does it stop the machine? Does it fit? I never want to alter the machine itself. I will alter an aftermarket part. I don't have a problem with that. We're just mocking this up right now. I just kind of want to show you how easy it goes together. Here's some hardware. It's not the original hardware. It's not the correct hardware, as in the original hardware was an Allen bolt, I believe. This is not an Allen. But this is your location. This is your original factory brake line here. We're gonna have to clean all this up, but I want to show you how it all goes together. I'm not gonna bore you with watching me clean it up. But all the holes line up. Your brake line is gonna come in here on the back side, just like the original. This one is actually missing the pickup here. What we'll do is we'll just take this off. We'll clean it up. As you see, it's pretty dirty. It's been on there a while. And this is the hose that it came with for our new one. It's going to need to be trimmed, but we can certainly put this heat shield, if you will, over the new hose and kind of give it that OE look. And it's not that I'm trying to trick anybody, but I do want to keep the overall look of the machine original. But the difference between a $23 or $25 master cylinder versus a $75 master cylinder, well, that buys me a free tire. And if I save a little money on the master cylinder, then maybe I can spend a little bit more on tires, because that's something else we are going to have to get. Now, one of the places I don't cut back anymore, and that's because the original equipment, Honda grip, is still available. You know, a lot of these parts aren't available. Those that are and are good value, I will get them. And so I picked up some Honda original equipment grips for the 350X, because a couple of things. One of the first things people look at is the grip, and you want it to look right. Clearly, you can look at the grips that are on this machine, and they are not right. They are not right by a mile. The feel of the original grip kind of is part of the ride. You know, that they feel a certain way. You want the whole experience to be correct. And so part of that is how the grip actually fits in your hand. Now we're gonna have to figure out, we're gonna have to get some end caps to hold these on. They should have had some metal end caps to hold this grip on, but we're gonna put the original correct grip back on here so it has the look. If you notice, we had some really bent up levers. This one was black. As you see, I went through the boneyard and I found an original aluminum one, and I found a matching front brake in aluminum over here. So now it has at least a match pair of original Honda levers on the machine. Though they're not right, and this master cylinder is not OE, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check that. I don't think the original one had a mirror pickup. We'll have to ask Preston about that. But the look and the feel of the machine, I want to be correct. Like that. That's a gravity bleed. Basically, we just filled this up till it stopped taking any more fluid. Eased, pumped the brake with the back bleeder open, put a little towel on the floor. Once we saw it dripping back there, we knew we had flow. Cap off the bleeder, come back up here, top off your reservoir, and that's really all there is to these brakes. Now, I've had some that have been, problematic. Master cylinder maybe not doing its job, but this one bled right out. Literally, this could have shot this video in real time. No issues at all. Everything fit just like you saw it. I didn't modify anything. I cleaned up some of the old hardware. I trimmed the hose. You saw that. I did reuse this heat we'll call it a heat shield. It's just a bigger piece of hose somebody put on the old line, but I like it. This header is really close. I can stick my finger between there, but not by a whole lot, okay? So, you know, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe reposition it a little bit if there is some. There may not be any adjustments. You see it's bolted here and it's bolted back here. But regardless, check this out. We got brakes. Looking at the pads, somebody put pads on here at some point in time. They're not that worn. This is your outer pad here. There's an inner one. This turnbuckle thing is not right. But I got to tell you, it's not moving. It's solid. It's on there. You know, it's kind of one of those things. If it's not falling off, don't worry about it, kind of thing. We'll look into it later. But right now, I'm just as pleased as I can be. You can see the shiny of the disc. Every time we hit this, that pad's got to get all the schmutz off of it from however long it's been. Just got to self-clean. But we have brakes. I will keep an eye on our master cylinder, make sure it's topped off. It's just that simple. Some of these projects aren't that expensive. I think we've got $30 into rear brakes now. Granted, we had the rear caliper, and that's one of those things we look for. When you're looking to buy a machine, look for brakes. Brake calipers are very expensive. Those can be upwards of $100 to $400 for a rear caliper. The rear caliper for an 86 250R is $450 something. That's why I put a 450R caliper on it. This machine had the caliper. I was hoping that it was working. It took fluid and it's pumped up and it's doing great. So we'll put it out on the track. We'll do some riding with it. We'll make sure we have got really good brakes before we start depending on them. But yeah, 30 bucks, y'all. You don't necessarily have to go out and find new old stock parts. Some of these aftermarket companies, like Maddie here, they did their homework. The spacing is right. It works. This is probably the 4th or 5th product of theirs I've used. I have never had a problem with their product. Some of these aftermarket companies are pretty good. Somebody's going to say it's not going to last 100 years. Well, I didn't spend $150 for it. I spent $30 for it. And if I get 10 years out of it, I'm going to be an old man. And I think that'll be plenty. Sometimes what you pay is good enough to get you back on the trail. And this is one of those. I like this company. I like their product. It feels good. The weight of the product feels good. I think anybody really, you know, that saw it at 10 or 15 feet, they would be like, hey, that looks great. That's a perfect fit. And really, it is a perfect fit. You can send these off and you can have them rebuilt, but you're not going to get that done for $30. Let's see if we can get these grips turned around before this camera battery dies, and we'll have another video and we'll be one step closer. And one of my favorite things to hunt for is tires. Finding the right tire. I scrutinize tires like nobody's business. It's taken me probably 3 days and I still haven't decided what tire I want to put on this 350X. I do know what size I want, so there's that, but I haven't decided on the pattern. To me, tires make the machine. We've talked about tires. I got a whole video on tires. There are a lot of thought that goes into tires, more so than 4-ply or 6-ply, the sizing, how much air pressure you're running in them. How you use your machine is very important as to what tire you use or what tire works best for you. I personally do not like a 22-inch tall tire. I like a 20-inch tire. It's a personal preference. You may love the 22-inch tall tire. You may like a bigger tire. For me, the 20-inch tire is just the right amount of shortness, the short sidewall, the flat tread. I do not like a tire to balloon up and get tall in the center. I know that's what a lot of these machines came with. It's just my personal preference. You won't see any balloon tires on pretty much anything I own, just because my riding style, where I ride, kind of dictate what tire works the best. I'm not off in the mud. I don't need the height of a taller tire. I like to slide around corners, so I like a wide, flat tire, and that tire doesn't have the grip lateral, so it allows the back of the machine to slide around a lot easier. Even a low horsepower machine like a 200X or a 185S, you put a shorter tire like an 18 on those machines, you can whip them around corners all day long. The 350X has got plenty of power. Don't get me wrong, it can slide and turn a 22. I just like a 20. So we're gonna look around. I don't think I have anything in the shop I want to put on it, but this machine needs tires coming up next. And I think after that, we will probably just give it a really good detail. I don't know of anything else that it really is screaming for other than grips, which we're going to take care of, and tires. This tire right here specifically goes flat. We may try to do a little video. If you look close, these rims are pretty rough. Now, this is a rolled lip. You see how this lip of this rim is rolled out as compared to... Now those wheels look pretty much the same. They have the same kind of internal shape. They have the same bolt pattern. They're the same size. They're both 9-inch wheels. This came off of a 300 or a 400 EX. Okay, this is an original 85 wheel. If you look at the bead. See how the edge of the rim rolls out and it's real smooth like that compared to this one? And that's how, if you don't know, that's how guys can look at these wheels. I'm not even good at it. That's how these guys look at these wheels, and they can kind of tell where they came from. This really thin lip out here is an older style wheel. That's not how they make them anymore compared to this. See how this lip of this rim rolls out like that? So when you're out looking, this is an original Honda wheel. A lot of guys will put this wheel on here just because they're readily available. I do want to check the back spacing since I have these, and since these are a little rough, I'm not opposed to that. We could take, maybe when we break these down, we'll try to work on straightening some of this lip out here so it won't look as noticeable. As long as it'll hold air, I think we can fix this. So upcoming video, we get tires, we'll do that. All right, forgive the fan. It's the only way I can talk to y'all and not have to fight off the mosquitoes. So these grips are on here. They're probably just cut them off. I hate to waste them, but I'm not gonna put them on anything. Yeah, they're just gonna come right off. What I'm really checking for at this point is I'd like to find out if the bolt hole is intact here, is it stripped out, or we go out to the boneyard and try to find some end caps. Oh good, the bolt hole looks good. Good, there's your grip. Hey, you motocross guys, y'all gonna get mad at me. A lot of guys that put these on, they actually have special glue that they put in here and they slide the grip on and it hardens up overnight. I'm gonna tell you how we used to do it back in the day. We'd go in the bathroom and we take our mother's hairspray and we put hairspray inside here, and it's wet and it'd slip on real easy. But when the hairspray dries, it actually will create a nice bond between the grip and the metal. And that's how we used to hold them on, was hairspray, just something real simple. There's a lot of different products like that. I'm gonna have to find something. The bug spray might work. Let's see if I have some of that. OE bar, they're like 12 bucks a piece. I know you can get the aftermarket ones for $12 a pair, and so that is double, but grips are great. It's what it's supposed to have. They look right, they feel right. All right, that's it. We just got to track down some bar ends. I think I've got some on another machine I can pull off. We'll put those on there. Doesn't that look better? Doesn't that just already look better? Let's put the fenders on. One step at a time. Looks like factory. Now we have brakes. All right guys, that's it. Just, you know, small steps. Do it as you can afford it. You don't have to blow these things apart and tear them down for a year and spend every dollar you make on them. You can do a little bit at a time. Once you get them up and running, we got lucky, this one's already up and running. You can just kind of chip away at it, making it what you want. If you want to make it all original, great. You want to make it just dependable and run and stop like it's supposed to, that's an option too. We've been able to use a couple of aftermarket companies to get what we want. We've got brakes for about $30. We've got handlebar grips, OE Honda grips now, 24 bucks for the pair. It's not a bad price, not for the right look and the right feel this machine's supposed to have. Both of these products, can't go wrong either way. I do want to show you something while I have you here. I'm going to insert some footage that I shot yesterday. I kind of want to put the word out there. Speaking of aftermarket parts, there are good aftermarket parts and there are bad aftermarket parts. But I picked up a Petcock the other day off of Amazon. It looked spot on in the book, you know, on the computer there. It looked like it had the same shape, it had the same sizes. everything looked right, so I went ahead and ordered one. But I hedged my bet, and I went ahead and I reached out and I got some OE Petcocks from Curtie. Y'all be sure and check him out. 223 cycles. You can pick up your Petcocks there. But on the screen, I'm going to show you a comparison side by side what some aftermarket companies do. And as you'll see, the output on the aftermarket company is much smaller than the original OE. And you can imagine that's going to translate to horsepower. That's going to translate to refill times on your carburetor bowls. When you've got that machine pegged out and you are just running down the road and it's taking fuel as fast as you can give it, think about how much less fuel that aftermarket Petcock can put in that carburetor. If you've ever had a machine that has starvation for fuel problems where you're winding it out and it just won't go any faster, check your Petcock. Somebody may have put one on there that's not OE. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you like this. I think the Yard Sale 350X is just well on its way. It's going to be a really nice machine. Now I'm going to go inside and look at tires some more because I just can't decide what I want to put on them. Y'all have a great evening. I'll see you in a couple of days.